Good morning, everyone. We are here today to discuss the new benzoin downstreaming policy, a pivotal moment for our company. This policy is more than a regulatory update. It's a chance to strengthen our supply chains and market position. Benzoin, or kemenyan, is a valuable natural resource with incredible potential for momentum. Its timeless scent and cultural significance align with our commitment to using authentic premium ingredients. Today, we'll outline a comprehensive strategy to turn this policy into a competitive advantage. We'll present a roadmap for innovation, a plan for local sourcing, and vision for integrating benzoin into our next generation of products. This is our opportunity to solidify our leadership in the fragrance and personal care markets. I'm pleased to introduce PT Mendem Indonesia (TBK), founded in 1969 and listed as TCID. We've built a strong portfolio of household brands over the decades. You will recognize Gatsby, Tencho, Spalding, and Pixie. These brands are foundation of our business, reflecting our commitment to quality, innovation, and meeting our customer needs. We are proud to be a part of their daily lives. Let's turn our attention to what's probably the most significant recent development for our industry, hilirisasi kemenyan or benzoin downstreaming. As the slide outlines, the government is taking a strategic step to limit the export of raw benzoin. The goal is add value right here in Indonesia, supporting our domestic industries and strengthening our export competitiveness. It's a bold move, and you know what they say, a government policy is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Well, in this case, we've unwrapped a challenge and an opportunity all at once. We are seizing a chance to innovate. This our moment to build a more robust, local, and sustainable supply chain, transforming this policy into a powerful competitive advantage for our future.
Saya pernah bicara itu masalah hilirisasi kemenyan. Banyak yang ketawa.
Okay, to begin our
Next,
scenario
please.
planning journey, let me first walk us through the 5 stages that structure this entire process. These stages help us anticipate the future, navigate uncertainties, and make well-informed strategic decisions. The first stage is orientation, where we define the core strategic issue we are trying to solve. Next, we move to the exploration stage, which we can scan for external trends, identify key driving force, and uncover uncertainties that could impact our business. In the third stage, scenario and narrative creation, we craft multiple future pathways based on those uncertainties. The next stage is option consideration, where we develop strategic response tailored to each scenario, so we're ready to no matter which direction the world takes. Finally, the integration stage, we embed this scenario into real business decision and set up early warning system to monitor which future is starting to unfold. Now, let's go deeper into stage 1, orientation. This stage begins by defining a single focus question that will guide the rest of the process for PT Mandem. The focal question we have chosen is how should PT Mandem strategically respond to the uncertainties surrounding the downstreaming of potential benzoin to remain relevant, competitive in the next 5 until 10 years. We are now ready to move into the exploration stage, identifying the driving force and uncertainties ahead. Okay, the next will explained by our CMO, which is Mr. Wahyu. Hey, Mr. Wahyu, why are you not moving? Is there a network problem? Mr. Wahyu?
Sorry, Mr. Satrio. Okay, next, I will explain about stage 2, exploration. Our objective was to identify every key driving force that could shape our business. We found 13 in total, grouped into 3 areas. In the contextual arena, we identify the consistency of government policy, national political and economic stability, change in consumer behavior, global market sentiment, and technology adoption. In the transitional arena, the forces are our pregnant competitor, price and supply dynamic of benzoin at the farmer level, and the bargaining of power of our distribution and retail. And inward at our organization, we assess our R&D and product innovation capability, operational and supply chain efficiency, our brand strength, capital allocation capability, and our human resource capability. Now, with at least this long priorities is guide. We plot every one of those 13 forms on an impact versus uncertainty matrix. Our strategy focus must be on the top right quadrant, the factor with the highest impact and the greatest uncertainty. For critical forces that will define Mendom future, they are first, the government benzoin downstreaming policy, second, national political and economic stability, third, change in consumer behavior, and fourth, technology adoption. These four elements are the foundation for the strategic scenario. Thank you. And next, Mrs. Nadia.
All right, that now we've completed about the exploration stage. We identify four key driving forces that are both highly uncertain and potentially high impact. As previously explained by Mr. Wahyu, in my part, I like to move us forward to stage 3 of scenario planning, which is about developing the possible scenario. To do this, I used 2x2 matrix based on the two main axes, and the x-axis is the represented external support such as government policy and political economic stability, while the y-axis is represented marketing demand and influenced by customer behavior and technological advancement. From this combination, we derive four possible scenarios. High support and low demand result in chaos. High support and high demand leads to favorable condition. Low support by high demand create no excitement. And finally, low support and low demand give us an unfavorable outlook. Now, based on the matrix, I'd like to walk you through the four possible scenarios starting from the worst case situation. The first is unfavorable. This is a condition where global demand for benzoin drastically declines, and there is no policy support or downstream industry incentives. In such a scenario, the company struggle to survive due to vacuum in both market and policy direction. Here we face a situation where the government provide full support, but the market demand start to shift. Emerging substitute technology begin to replace benzoin, and consumer preference lean towards scientific or minimalist fragrance. In this case, the company must act fast to stay relevant. The third one is no excitement. This reflects a situation where global demand is actually high, but local policy and block process. The company is unable to fully leverage downstream potential due to scale and regulation constraints. Thus, the company may need to focus on local or regional markets. And of course, and the scenario the last is favorable one, where the government fully support downstream process and the value-add export. Global demand continue to rise and technology enable greater efficiency and product innovation. In this ideal case, the company can scale up collaboration with SME and farmer cooperation and growth in export capacity with strong global competitiveness. But as we know, there are all potential pathways based on our earlier analysis, and each scenario still need to be explored further. Perhaps Pak Robit, as our strategic advisor, would like to add more perspective to enrich this stage.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Okay. Thank you for Ms. Nadia for the explanation. Okay, I'm here to explain the option consideration. So we here using 2x2 matrix, demand and support. In high support and low demand, this is chaos. In this scenario, the government gives full support, but the market is shifting. Consumers are leaning toward synthetic or minimalist preference, making it hard for traditional products to compete. The implication is that although policy support is there, the risk is still high if the market doesn't catch up or adjust quickly. The options here is to reposition and rebrand frankincense-based products to target new target market consumer trends like wellness products, minimal scents, or even antiseptic and ecological use. It's also important to invest in R&D to diversify product offerings. This is favorable. This is the best case scenario, strong demand and strong government making. The implication is that there's huge potential to grow and to the downstream industry. We can expand processing capacity and build wider distribution networks. The option is to build integrated processing facilities in key production areas, facilitate the export of high value franchise products like niche perfumes, also enable financing access for MSMEs through government subsidies or public loan scheme like people business credit, or we call it kredit usaha rakyat (KUR). And low support, high demand. This is no excitement. Here, market demand is high, but regulation and bureaucracy are holding us back. The implication is that the local industry lost momentum due to lack of policy and fiscal support. The option is to take a strategic approach from association or alliance to advocate for better policies. Low support and low demand. This is unfavorable. This is the most challenging situation. Demand is low and the government support is limited. Farmers and business may face loss or stagnation. The implication is that pressure is high and survival depends on quick adaptation. The option is to consider pivoting to other commodities or more promising sectors. Keep investment minimalist use to maintain sustainability. Alternatively, explore niche or non-commercial products derivative like traditional medicine ingredient that might still have loyal markets. Let me know if any question. Thank you. And the next. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me?
Of course,
Yes, of
my risk
course.
analyst.
Yes.
Okay. Here now I'm gonna present about the stage 5. As we know, after hearing from other coworker, we already present about several options for. But before Mr. Karis can make a decision, we have to. I have to explain first about the risk that we're gonna get in the future. So the next stage is stage 5 of integration or early warning sign. Early warning sign itself is a small sign in the real world that show a certain scenario might be starting to happen. This is important, ladies and gentlemen, because they help our company to take action early before things get too late. When these indicators are detected, it means that a specific scenario might be happening. If PT Mandam can spot them early, we can make timely and precise decision to respond effectively. The first quadrant that I'm going to explain is the quadrant of favorable, which is high demand with low regulation. Global demand for natural-based product continue to grow, while there is high support from government like regulation remain relatively relaxed. This creates an ideal momentum for our company to become a first in the benzoin downstream industry. The several early warning signs, and the first one is factory upgrades or new plant construction from our industry. The second one is there is no export routes from logistic partner. Then government pilot program or MOU on downstreaming and new benzoate-based product launches. Then the next quadrant of chaos, which means there is high support but low demand. This means that government are strongly support benzoin downstreaming. However, market preference and technology trend are shifting in a different direction. This creates internal chaos for our company. These are shown by there is a rebrand product failed to gain traction, there's a lack of institutional funding, or low participation from university or incubator. Then the quadrant of no excitement, which is high demand and low support. Even though market demand for natural-based product is high, strict regulation and lack of fiscal support make it hard for the industry to grow. The potential is there, but the excitement is blocked. Our company may face delay opportunities and slow momentum if it doesn't adapt quite quickly. The fourth quadrant is unfavorable. In this scenario, our company is facing the worst case condition, which is market demand is low and government support is minimal. The downstreaming policy exists, but there is no strong pull from consumer, and the policy isn't backed with real fiscal or institutional support. As a result, our farmer and businesses are stagnant without any real growth prospect. With these several early warning signs, I hope Mr. Karis can make a really precise decision regarding our company future.
Thank you. Thank you.